Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Warcraft replay here. This is going to be game 2 of this best of 3 series. We have... Oh, is that light green or dark green? Oh, I think I did dark green on the overlay. Oh well, I don't think it matters too much, but we have Chaemiko here as the green, I think light green human player in the top left, and Fly, the purple orc player in the bottom left. The series is tied up 1-1 in the GCS Summer 2018 Group B finals match, losers finals. So yeah, whoever wins this will be able to represent Group B as the second qualifying player for the playoffs. And so far, Game 1 was won by Chaemiko, Game 2 was won solidly by Fly normally, so in essence it should be Fly that should win this, since Chaemiko only won by cheese, but we'll see how well Chaemiko can actually bring this back. And it is on a bigger map, and arguably a better map for humans, so we'll see how well Chaemiko can get, especially with his item drops here. Probably take down this Stone Rock Golem camp, probably as his first, and yeah, we'll see from there. Should be seeing the same thing for Fly, since he did just actually start up with his Farseer. Farseer, Spirit Wolves to harass, tech up to tier 2, and either go double Bestiary, which is probably the norm, or Bestiary Sparrow Lodge, which we just saw last game. And I do think Bestiary Sparrow Lodge is a pretty good option, especially against human matchup, because I guess, maybe not. I guess double Bestiaries is also still pretty good versus humans, because Raiders just do extremely well, and Wyverns, Mass Wyverns could pretty much just run face against the double Sanctums, really. Unless, of course, Chaemiko actually added in a couple of factories, and maybe not factories, workshops, and maybe went for a couple of flying machines. Either way, Chaemiko taking down the Rock Golem. Only picked up Rune Braces, so it will mitigate the chain lightning somewhat, but oh, nice timing there from Fly, able to catch these peasants right away from their little expedition on the Rock Golem camp. Is able to take down peasant number 1, and will be able to take down peasant number 2. Unfortunately, it looks like the wolves fully gave experience over to the Archmage, so a little sloppy on Fly's part. He could have definitely summoned them a lot earlier, and his Farseer has taken quite a beating this time around, so a clear difference between the last couple of games where we received Farseer first. This time around he took a lot of damage, maybe even critically enough for him to actually not even perform well enough anymore. And yeah, still eating fireballs of that Archmage. You can see there that Chaemiko doing a very nice animation cancelling. As soon as that fireball gets tossed, he immediately moves in. That time he didn't do it, but I did notice it before. I see you, Chaemiko, I definitely see you. Wolves once again going after these defenseless peasants, and will probably just get resummoned, it seems like. But yeah, only 3 peasants in exchange for a considerable amount of health on that Farseer. Tier 2, of course, is looking pretty well on the way. Meanwhile, Chaemiko is not even started, so a bit of a problem here, potentially for the human player. He could be left behind later on, but we'll have to wait and see how he actually handles this, because I mean, his Archmage is pretty well on the way to level 3. It's just that he might not have the units to back up that Archmage later on. Level 3 on the Archmage, able to take down that Warden, and he should be having level 2 Elementals available. Farseer able to heal him up very quickly with that salve, and yeah, should be able to resume the Farseer things. Boots on that Archmage, and here comes what the Farseer definitely did not want happening. An instant counter attack from the human player. Chaemiko able to time this very nicely, forcing an instant cancel on that Bestiary, and now the burrows are in trouble. No Beastmaster this time around, since tier 2 has yet to start. Oh, has started just now, but of course nowhere near completed. Farseer still only at level 1, so chain lightning to fend off against these footmen are not yet an option, but I mean with a good number of peons to repair that orc burrow, it seems like yeah, not much loss is going to be suffered for Fly, and Chaemiko is going to lose a couple of his footmen in exchange, actually giving over that experience of the elemental to the Farseer, so that was not that great. So all in all, both players haven't really found too much success when it comes to harassing your opponent's base, and yeah, things should just go back to a standstill. Archmage sticking around next to the tavern, but I mean tier 2 is still a good ways away from completion. Vault is gonna finally be placed down. Another difference, I guess, compared to last game. Vault came down after the double sanctions were actually finished, so we might be able to see breakers maybe a lot earlier. Overseer camp being taken down by the Farseer, but nope. Did spot Chaemiko around and about, and will be forced to try and react to that. Farseer yet again was a little late on that experience cancellation, as he did give a little bit over to the Archmage. Just the little nitpicking things, honestly, but I mean, if the Archmage was like barely level 4, then that wolf definitely helped a bit. Keep Tech is now completed, double sanctums on the way. Chaemiko should be getting the Beastmaster second, or he could just be going for Mountain King second. It really depends on the player and of course the situation. Tauren Chieftain has popped up as the second hero for Flies, so Chainwave is possibly going to be the name of the game, but if Chaemiko actually goes breakers very early on, then that would be pretty good for himself, because that would just counteract the ability combos there. And it is going to be the Blood Mage coming out as the second hero for Chaemiko, and Blood Mage is a rather odd pick. Obviously it doesn't really do too much amplifying to the Archmage. Archmage doesn't really need mana, as Brilliance Aura seems to be enough, and yeah, Flame Strike, I'm not sure about the Flame Strike, especially on orcs who can easily just pick up a speed scroll. They have the Endurance Aura as well, so I'm curious to see how this Blood Mage will be utilized. So far it seems to be Banish, and I believe that just helps. That was so baffling to me. Double Banish onto the Footman, and that just gave even more amplification to the Shockwave and Chain Lightning, so a bit of a head scratcher there. Not entirely sure what to make of that, and the Ogre Warrior experience is gonna go over to Fly, so yeah, there's that. I think Banish actually gets rid of the Ensnare, but of course the downside is that Shockwave just deals extra damage, so there we go with the double Banish. I was hoping for a Shockwave, but the Tauren Chieftain is actually out of mana. Farseer is also out of mana as well. He kind of wants to keep that for the Spirit Wolves, but here comes the Speed Scroll, and here we go, ensnaring the Priest after he comes out of banishment. Farseer is once again out of mana, but I actually didn't hear his Chain Lightning, so I don't know where that actually went. I think it was a new pair of wolves, but I don't know. Ensnare Trap onto the Blood Mage. He was so close to level 2, but oh, he actually gets level 2, which is actually bad, because that makes his cost of revival a lot more, and of course it takes a little more time to revive as well, so a bit of an unfortunate level up there. The health gain on level up definitely did not help, and yeah, that is just going to hurt him a little bit more later on. Chaemiko, wow, going for a TP scroll right next to his base, so you can see the desperation there on his actions.
A player's forces are under attack.
Basically, the Blood Mage was used to banish ensnared units to get them out of that ensnare, but it's just such an unfortunate turn of events that Fly suddenly changed up and went Tauren Chieftain as the second hero, so As long as these two heroes are topped up in terms of mana, Banish needs to definitely get a second thought. But so far, things are pretty good. We are going to have a Scroll of the Beast coming in from the Tauren Chieftain, Ensnare Trap onto the Archmage, and no TP Scroll means that he is very vulnerable to being sniped out, but with Boots of Speed he is able to run out of that surround. And now it seems like it is going to be the Farseer's turn to get surrounded, is going to be forced to use that TP Scroll, and now the Orc player is going to retreat. This time around Chaemiko is the one ahead in supply, as you can see here on the top left. About 7 supply ahead, and a little bit weird considering how Fly didn't actually get harassed after that initial attack, so theoretically he should be I guess at the stage where Chaemiko is at, where he's like nearing 50 supply, but right now he hasn't actually produced that many units. Has indeed gone for the Sparrow Lodge edition. He did go double bestiary at first, but I think he maybe wants a couple of Sparrow Walkers as well. I mean, it's a little strange that Fly is facing adversity so far, and without Spellbreakers to deal with as wolves at all, so once Spellbreakers come in, things are going to be a lot harder for the Orc player. There we go, Shockwave immediately after the Banish actually happens. Mana Siphon is going to be utilized to drain the mana pools of the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain, something that actually completely did not come to mind at all, so that is a very good actually unit of choice there. And the Farseer gets taken down at level 2, so disaster has struck for our Orc player, and I mean, he could possibly revive the Farseer back at the tavern, but tavern revived Farseer is definitely not a hero that you would want, because he comes out with no mana, he doesn't really contribute too much in terms of DPS, and yeah, he's pretty much useless at that point, so he has to be revived through the altar, or he needs to buy a mana pot, and right now he basically can't do it. He has to force maybe a TP back at the base, but with Militia to defend versus only a handful of raiders, things are not looking good for Fly. Basically all Chaemiko needs to do is snipe down all the Orc burrows as he can, and maybe go after the peons, as many peons as he can as well, and then just back off, just defend as best he can. Raiders, actually a boatload of raiders now, I have no idea where these guys came from, but we're able to take down double farms, going right after the Altar of Kings, but honestly, is going to lose a couple of raiders in exchange for this, but his main base is still being attacked, and although it's going to take a very long time for the stronghold to finish, yeah, right now he has taken down the essentials. Tauren Chieftain, continuously getting hit by that Arcane Tower, is unable to regen enough mana for a devastating shockwave. And yeah, so far it seems like it's just going to be game, and Chaemiko will be able to win the series, able to go 2-1 versus Fly, and he will continue on to playoffs. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Two very polarizing Farseer performances from basically the same player. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will try my best to upload, but school has started, so it's gonna be a little hectic. So yeah, anyway, take care.